The road to the Mountain West Championship goes through Las Vegas. In his 5th year at UNLV, Coach Lon Kruger has his sights set on tough non-conference opponents and the postseason. Seniors Wink Adams and Rene Rougeau are primed to lead the Runnin' Rebels in today's test against a fellow desert powerhouse. The helm has changed in Tucson, but the intensity has not, as Arizona can score from anywhere. Look for Chase Budinger from long range and Jordan Hill to score on the inside. It's the Pac-10 visiting the Mountain West. Arizona and UNLV tip off next. College basketball is next on Versus.
Tim, and this sellout crowd is electric, and they're in for a real treat. Two teams that do it in different ways. Arizona, high octane up and down, and UNLV, intense defensive pressure. Moments ago, Chase Budinger told me this is the best defense he's ever played against.
Well, one of the challenges for UNLV is going to be stopping the big man in the middle. Jordan Hill might be the best big man Arizona has had in a long, long time.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There are 2 first-round draft picks on Arizona's team, and the first one is Jordan Hill, the most productive postman in the last 25 years of Arizona basketball. Lon Kruger said Tyler Hansbrough, Blake Griffin of Oklahoma, and Jordan Hill, the best. And Chase Budinger, this is as simple as I can put it. He is the best wing shooter in all of college basketball. 60% from three-point range, and he's expanding his game, taking it inside. He is a very tough cover now.
For UNLV, their big scorer is Wink Adams. He's averaging over 14 points a game, but his shooting percentage has struggled a bit.
But don't worry about Wink. He loves the bright light. He is in a little bit of a shooting slump, but he has been working extremely hard on his jump shot. They've been in finals, and he said he's been spending 4 and 5 hours per day working on his jump shot. A member of the Mountain West All-Decade team. And his partner, the senior sensation walk-on, is Rene Rougeau. 10 points per game, 8 rebounds, and all the intangibles that you're looking for. UNLV needs a signature win.
We've got a great matchup for you here. Arizona and the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV. Stand by. College basketball tips off next on Versus. Rebels and the Wildcats getting set to tip off. One of the traditions here as they flip the lights on just before tip-off. The fireworks show, the red carpet, all kinds of interesting traditions here at UNLV. Take a look at the starting lineups as you look at the Arizona Wildcats. Nick Wise, a junior out of Houston, Texas. Career high 21 points against Gonzaga last time out. And another Houston, Texas native for UNLV, Wink Adams. He has been everything for the Runnin' Rebels during the course of his career.
And that is the marquee matchup in this game. Both teams want to run very hard. There's Russ Pennell, the interim head coach, 7-2, an excellent start for the Wildcats.
So Russ Pennell at the helm for the Wildcats, and Lon Kruger in his 5th season with UNLV. Won his 100th game the other night against Santa Clara. He's 144 in his time at UNLV.
One of the major keys in this game is that this very good Arizona team had a signature victory against Gonzaga. Will they look in the rearview mirror and relax?
Well, it's certainly one of those games that the home team here in front of a capacity crowd hopes is the case, but the way they played against Gonzaga the other night was remarkable. Arizona in blue, and the running Rebels of UNLV in white. Arizona controls the opening tip. This is Kyle Fogg, a freshman, the only freshman to see action this year for the Wildcats. Rene Rougeau got a hand in. Budinger whips the ball over to Nick Wise, guarded by Joe Darger.
Man-to-man defense. They bring the heat. It's the best thing that the Rebels do. Wow, what an atmosphere here, Tim.
It's a great day in Las Vegas for sports, and a great way to start for the Arizona Wildcats as Budinger hammers home the point.
And a big Arizona crowd here for the bowl game later tonight. Arizona plays BYU.
That's in the Las Vegas Bowl coming up, so many folks from Tucson making the trip. Darger missed on the three, and the rebound, Jordan Hill. Jordan Hill has been a beast on the boards lately. 6'10", 235, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Budinger off to Wise.
Last year under Kevin O'Neal, Arizona ran a ton of sets. Now it's more motion. Lon Kruger said they're much more difficult to cover this year than last.
Bad pass as Wise threw it behind. Budinger out of bounds. And UNLV will have the ball on the turnover. Chase Budinger, preseason All-American honorable mention. He's on the Wooden Award watch list this week. He was named to the Naismith Trophy watch list.
Defensively, a deep playbook for Arizona.
Another three. This time, Darger's got it. And UNLV takes a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I've done a lot of games in this building, Tim. This is the best environment that I've seen.
Joe Darger is the top three-point shooter by percentage in UNLV history. Hill underneath powers his way to the basket, but is fouled before the shot went in. Well, the foul is going to be on Darius Santee, his first. 718 straight games, the NCAA record. Ever since the line was painted on the floor, Tim, they've hit shots.
Yeah, and if you like post play, sit back. You're going to really like Jordan Hill and what he does. He is the best post player in the entire western part of the U.S. #1 in Pac-10 rebounds, #4 in scoring, 2 in blocks, and he's shooting over 60% from the field.
These two had a very competitive game here last year, almost 1 year to the day. Turned out to be a three-point victory for Arizona.
In that game, Jordan Hill, 16 points. Get this, 19 rebounds.
You can pull him down. Rene Rougeau. And the rebound goes to Arizona. Jamel Horn. Wise going to the basket. Blocked from behind by Rougeau. Terrific defensive play by Rene Rougeau.
Yeah, off the dribble, you're really going to be impressed at the ability of the Wildcats, especially Nick Wise. It's got to be a pressure-contained defense by the running Rebels.
Fogg has Wink Adams guarding him. Budinger. He is true on the jumper from just beyond 15. What a great touch.
Yeah, before the game, he was shooting from the U in UNLV with no problem at all.
Rougeau down the middle, the feed from Darius Santee. And it's a 6-5 game early on. They had Arizona spread out. That opened it up for Rougeau. Budinger with the ball now. And Wise up top.
That looks like a size mismatch. Budinger is going right inside against Wink Adams. That's a smart move. Very good recognition by Nick Wise to see the mismatch.
And Budinger has 6 of Arizona's 8 points. Here's Adams all alone. Then a big concern in Las Vegas. His shooting percentage has been way down. Now the other way. Hill has it taken away by the freshman Oscar Belfield. Belfield from Los Angeles, Westchester High School. Substitution now as Bryce Mosumba will take the place of Darius Santee in the UNLV lineup.
The element that makes Chase Budinger so difficult is the ability to go inside. You know about the jump shot. Stephen Curry from Davidson is the best shooter. He's a point guard. I said the best wing is Chase Budinger. He has 25-foot range on his jumper.
Wise getting around Tiger, and the second block of the game by Rougeau. Adams just lost control, and the Cats are running. Rougeau gets the rebound. The defensive pressure by Darger. It's a track meet early on. Darger for three. Another opportunity for the running Rebels, and he'll take it. Joe Darger with 6 points.
Lon Kruger said before tip, the #1 key in this game is to make early shots.
Rougeau trying to get the lead back. Budinger gets Adams inside for Rougeau. And UNLV has retaken the lead, 10-8. You could power a small house with all of the electricity in this building. Arizona wants a 30-second timeout. Russ Pennell, the interim head coach, calls a timeout. He replaces a legend at Arizona in Lute Olson, who retired back in late October. Lute had an off-and-on relationship with the bench the last year or so, but Lute Olson, certainly one of the best known coaches in college basketball history. Brought a national title back to Tucson.
One of college basketball's all-time greats. He built a perennial NCAA fixture, and just as Penn State is known as linebacker U, Lute Olson, his program was point guard U.
1997 title. And he was thinking about coaching this year, just didn't work out. But now Russ Pennell has the reins and has his team at 7-2 in his first year as the head coach of the Cats. He had been up the road. That team to the north, they say, Arizona State. He spent a little time there, too. Also Oklahoma State.
Lute Olson called him last year to ask if he wanted to be on the staff as an assistant, and Coach Pennell thought it was one of his buddies playing a joke.
Offensive foul called on Chase Budinger. A turnover for Arizona. 10-8 UNLV. Timeout on the floor on Versus. 10-8, the Running Rebels leading the Wildcats of Arizona here in Las Vegas. And defense for UNLV has been a big part of the story in the early going.
Well, it's an A+ start for Lon Kruger's team. Watch defensively. They go by the pick and roll, and the weak side defense jump starts the fast break. UNLV is on an 80-point pace in this game, and the beauty of the attack is that so far it's keeping Jordan Hill out of the offense. Remember, in a very fast-paced game, big guys become less important. So far, Jordan Hill has not even taken a shot.
2 points, both from the line, and 2 rebounds. UNLV on a 5-0 run since Arizona held a 3-point lead at 8-5. Belfield. Bryce Musamba.
Here's that 1-1-3. I know the Rebel fans will remember this was the amoeba defense that Jerry Tarkanian made famous when he was coaching UNLV.
Wink Adams to Rene Rougeau, and Adams being pressured by Horn. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Rougeau from the free throw line had it tipped. Loose ball's going to be tracked down by Musamba. It'll be a shot clock violation and a turnover back to the Wildcats.
Now, what Russ Pennell does defensively makes a lot of sense to me as you see Alex Jacobson coming in the game. Out of timeouts, when Lon Kruger clearly calls a set play, he'll come up with a junk defense to take them out of that set.
Well, certainly Arizona may have some UNLV influence old UNLV influence. Mike Dunlop, assistant coach, spent last season with the Denver Nuggets. Also with the Denver Nuggets was Tim Gergerich, a longtime Jerry Tarkanian assistant. So certainly something rubbed off there.
Foul called inside.
Well, very interesting move here. Arizona goes with their jumbo lineup. They've got two big guys. That is very dangerous for the Rebels because they are dead last in the Mountain West Conference in rebounding the basketball.
Fouls on Bryce Mosumba, his first, and the team's second. UNLV trying to get a late substitution as Darius Santee will replace Mosumba.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the ball go to Jordan Hill to get him a look at this point.
Santee's got the defensive responsibility on Hill right now. Wise with the basketball. Now Hill way outside. That's where UNLV would like to keep him. Horn on the jumper. Rebound, Wink Adams. Adams trying to get into the scoring column. Belfield thought about it. Adams back for Darger. He's got 2 threes already. Adams for 3. And Hill, another rebound. That's his third. Adams anticipating. Knocked it out of bounds. Looked like he slipped on something in front of the scorer's table.
Banana peel.
You're saying he tripped on the out of bounds line?
Well, a lazy pass by Jordan Hill. And Wink Adams plays both ends of the court. Even though he's not shooting well, you still can't discount all the other good stuff he does.
Hill on the cut, couldn't control it. Back outside it goes to Jamel Horn, sophomore from San Diego. Shot clock under 10. Belfield guarding Wise. A steal by Rougeau. He has 2 blocks to go along with that steal. Skip pass wide open is Adams. He's 0 for 3 from out there. Wise with speed. Terrific move and a great basket by Nick Wise.
Basket is good. The foul after the basket on number 42.
The foul will be called on Jamel Horn after the basket, so the basket's going to count. But what a play by Wise.
You know, Nick Wise is off to a slow shooting start. Look, here's the deal. Darger and Wink Adams are seniors. They cannot beat this Arizona team if both those guys don't have strong shooting games in this contest.
Well, Wink gets a seat. And Trayvon Willis, transfer from Memphis, is in the game wearing 33 for the running Rebels. And Kendall Wallace, right off the bench, knocks down a 3.
Defensively, real nice job of fronting Jordan Hill in the low post, but he's versatile. He'll take it on the perimeter.
Hill is fouled on his way to the basket. Trayvon Willis, I believe, may have been the guilty party. It is indeed on Willis, his first.
You know, for UNLV, a tremendous defensive dilemma because Wise, Hill, and Buttinger together average 52 points per game. You can shut one of them down, but you're probably not going to take 2 of them out.
Fogg, the entry for Hill, he's doubled. Kicks it back out. Buttinger for 3. And Hill just outreaching everybody. Back for Buttinger. Missed the hanger. That one's short. Arizona can't buy a lay-in. And Darius Santee the rebound. A lid on the basket for the Wildcats. Wallace, 3. And Arizona calls timeout. Back-to-back threes by sophomore guard Kendall Wallace. And UNLV up by 6, and it starts in the defensive end.
Yeah, and circle this segment right here. UNLV does a horrible job on the boards, giving shot after shot. It should have been a basket by Arizona. Instead, Santee gets the rebound, and they end up scoring 3 at the other end. What a huge play, and what a great response here. Number 2, Kendall Wallace is a role player, a 6'4" sophomore, and Wink Adams has not shot the ball well. You can live with it if you've got your bench guys coming down and knocking a few in.
Over the last 5 minutes, UNLV has gone on an 11-2 run after Arizona had taken a 3-point lead. That's why they call them the running Rebels.
Yep.
Trayvon Willis had the red shirt last year. They're very excited to get him on the floor this year, and he has made an impact so far. Arizona with a basketball. Buttinger with it. Guarded by Rougeau. Now Hill trying to get around Santee. Strong to the basket. Hill can't make it go, but he's going to go to the free throw line. And he'll have a couple of shots. The foul is on Darius Santee. UNLV up by 6 on Versus.
Time is called. There's a timeout on the court.
UNLV a 6-point lead over Arizona here in the first half of the Thomas & Mack Center with Tim McCormick. I'm Tim Neverett. Rene Rougeau, he's been a star in this one defensively, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and it's a lesson in persistence. The first day he showed up on campus as a walk-on, Lon Kruger said, you worked 2 years with my assistant coaches on your skills, work with the strength coach. Your last 2 years, you can play for me. He made all-league honorable mention, and he's an intangibles guy. In this game so far, he has 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 assist, and a partridge in a pear tree.
And he got a diploma.
Yeah, in criminal justice, he wants to work for the FBI.
Yeah, he got his diploma Tuesday, and he says he wants to be a CSI kind of guy.
No surprise watching him play that he wants to do some work in defense.
11:20 to go in the first half. Arizona with the basketball. Nick Wise, a very, very speedy and quick point guard. Fogg to the basket. Great athletic move by Kyle Fogg, the 6'2" freshman from Brea, California. Good pick at the top by Rutledge for UNLV. Knocked Fogg off his pins. The ball turned over by UNLV. Jamel Horn checks back in for Arizona. And sitting down will be Big Alex Jacobson, the 6'11" center.
If Jamel Horn scores, then Arizona gets tough to beat because they have the highest level scoring at point, wing, and post. If you've got a 4th scorer, man, you're going to be really difficult to cover.
Wink Adams still on the bench for UNLV. Mauricio Rutledge is in at a guard with Kendall Wallace. Trayvon Willis guarding Nick Wise. Fogg back for Buttinger. Buttinger has such a smooth shot. He picks good shots too. The shooting percentage for Arizona as a team is very, very good. Buttinger had it blocked by Rougeau. Got a piece of it on the way by, but a foul on the baseline on Bryce Musumba, as it'll be Kendall Wallace, beg your pardon, not Musumba. But they're going to put Jordan Hill to the line. They've been hammering on him. He's not going to the line here because he wasn't in the act of shooting, but he's been to the line several times already, and they're going to make it a physical game inside. Wise the stop and start, and Hill inside. That was tipped by Wallace out of bounds off of UNLV, and Arizona will have an opportunity to put it back in play.
Yeah, I want to reiterate a comment from the open because I think it tells a huge story. Chase Buttinger said that UNLV plays the most intense pressure defense that he's ever played against. They play in the Pac-10. That's a good defensive league, and that's making a real strong statement about what we're seeing out here so far.
Fogg trying to get to the basket. He hangs, can't score. Rougeau the rebound. Willis on the run. Willis doubled. Musumba from the post. They kick it in the corner. Rutledge back out for Willis. Still lots of time on the shot clock for the running Rebels. They've got Hill out from underneath as he came out to get Willis. Wallace has 2 threes already. Sure, they wouldn't mind giving him another opportunity to get a shot. 4 seconds to shoot. Rougeau gets it up there and scores.
The best offensive trip so far for the running Rebels. And remember, seniors Joe Darger and Wink Adams are on the bench.
Still a 6-point lead. And Bonninger wide open. Look at a 3. Got it. That's his first one. He's 1 for 2 from out there.
60% from 3. I know a lot of guys that can't make 60% of their free throws with nobody covering them.
He's Tim McCormick. I'm Tim Neverett. The Thomas and Mack Center is rocking like the Jerry Tarkanian days today. And a turnover as Arizona will run it out. Nick Wise with it. Bonninger dumps it inside, and a foul is going to be called on UNLV's Bryce Musumba. Musumba, the freshman out of Findlay Prep, originally from Sweden, 6'10", 255. He is a wide body.
Sweden, huh?
Sweden.
It's not a basketball haven.
Wink Adams checks back in. Belfield and Darger also back in. Wholesale changes for Lon Kruger's running Rebels. UNLV with 16 fouls. Next foul will put Arizona in the bonus for the remainder of the half. Arizona with only 2.
UNLV is switching all screens. That is really frustrating Arizona.
Oscar Belfield. Adams gets the rebound, and Belfield's going to hear about that from Coach Kruger at some point, you know, as Mauricio Rutledge bails him out. Another steal by Belfield. He's been all over the place defensively, and UNLV with a 5-point advantage, giving the crowd their money's worth so far.
Yeah, look, this is as simple as I can put it. Arizona has not handled Prosperity very well. Remember, they beat the number 4 team in the country, Gonzaga, by 5 points in their last outing. One of the greatest challenges in basketball is to have a big win and come out the next game with that fire.
Lon Kruger knows he needs a win today. They've lost 2 in a row at home. They were
surprising.
They were displaced, of course, for 2 weeks here because the National Finals Rodeo takes over the Thomas and Mack Center. Played a game at home last week at another arena in Las Vegas. But UNLV with a 5-point edge over Arizona. You're watching college basketball on Versus. 7:56 remaining in the first half. 5-point lead for the running Rebels. Last time out for Arizona, it was a big one. As we flash back to Sunday, taking on number 4 Gonzaga. The Wildcats used a 10-0 run early in the second half to take control of that game. It would be Nick Wise, career-high 21 points. Jordan Hill had 22 points, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. First win over a top 4 team since they beat Maryland in 2001. Huge win for Hill and the Wildcats over the Zags of Gonzaga.
And it was so impressive because going head-to-head with Gonzaga's Josh Heifeld, a lot of people think those are the best big guys in the conference. Josh Heifeld was held to 1 for 6, and Jordan Hill dominated the matchup.
UNLV with a basketball. Wink Adams is doubled back to Darger. They swing it up to Willis. Stripped by Wise. And that's out of bounds off of Arizona. Garland Judkins was the last to touch it. So UNLV will have 23 seconds on the shot clock once they put it in bounds.
Tim, I think you're noticing a trend here. Every single loose ball is going to Lon Kruger's team.
They are scrambling all over. I think that's a byproduct of the pressure defense. Belfield. Willis the rebound. Blocked by Hill. Another block by Hill, but a foul was called. He got him on the body. So Mauricio Rutledge couldn't get it past Jordan Hill.
Once again, loose balls, offensive rebounds, hustle points. Jordan Hill's the best shot blocker, but who goes and gets it? Mauricio Rutledge, Rene Rougeau, Joe Dargo. These are all grimy, gritty players that they don't have the pedigree. They were not high school All-Americans, but they will get on the floor and they will dig out those balls.
One out of two for Rutledge at the line. Makes it a 6-point lead. At 21-15.
Nick Wise has 1 basket. Jordan Hill has 0.
There's Wise in the corner. Back for Hill. And Hill took a walk in the park. I'd say that was 1 or 2 extra steps. So another turnover for Arizona.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea right now to set something up and drive at Jordan Hill. He's foul prone and he's frustrated.
Well, Belfield will reset the offense. Gets a high screen from Darger. Darger in the corner. Willis. Willis for 3. He's got it. Trayvon Willis, and the largest lead of the game for UNLV at 9. I don't think anybody's sitting here in this arena. Budinger had it taken away, but it's out of bounds off of Willis.
Defensive Picasso by Lon Kruger and his team. They front the low post. Once Hill steps to the perimeter, they offer a shadow, a little bit of defensive help, and so far they have really done a great job on Jordan Hill.
Budinger throws it into traffic, and the held ball is going to belong to UNLV. So all the breaks going the way of the home team today. It's their first game in this building in the last couple of weeks. Again, they lost their last 2 home games to Cal and Cincinnati.
Boy, that doesn't happen very often. Seldom do they lose in this building.
Willis has the big man Hill out on him. Darger. And Budinger threw down Wink Adams, and he got called. So Budinger commits the personal foul for Arizona. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Lon Kruger's Rebels leading Arizona 24-15. 9 points for Budinger. He's the leading scorer for Arizona. 3-point try by Willis, and Budinger rips down the rebound. Budinger goes right to the basket and fouled on the way.
Inside.
Joe Darger is whistled for the foul this time for UNLV. Well, this Wednesday, the Contender on Versus continues. They come from the 4 corners of the world to the 4 corners of the ring, vying for a once-in-a-lifetime shot at glory. Whose corner are you in? An all-new episode of the Contender on Versus, Wednesday, 10 Eastern.
Tall jump shooters are a definite commodity in the NBA, and Chase Budinger's skills will be coveted in next year's NBA draft. He reminds me a lot of Mike Miller, the jump shooter for the Minnesota Timberwolves. High release, good length, and he is going to be very successful.
6'7", 218. Encinitas, California is home for Chase Budinger.
there are only 6 college basketball teams, in my opinion, that will have 2 NBA first-round draft picks next June. Arizona is on that list with Jordan Hill and Chase Budinger.
Arizona started the year with 9 players on NBA rosters. That tells you something about their program.
And Lute Olson.
Exactly. Talked to Jerry Tarkanian about a month ago, and he had a nickname for Lute Olson, called him Midnight Lute, because the night before recruiting would start, he said he'd be at all the kids' houses right at midnight waiting for the clock to move. Here's Wise. Trying the no-look bounce pass. That's deflected out of bounds.
In 1979, I was recruited by Lute Olson when he was at Iowa, and my mom wanted me to go to Iowa because she thought he looked like Cary Grant. She was totally mesmerized.
Well, how many recruits you think he got on those, on that basis?
Yeah, he got all the moms for sure.
Wise, the step back, just a bit short. And an offensive foul over the top, Jamel Horn.
Foul on number 42. Jamel Horn, second personal.
That's his second foul.
Team foul.
Inside of 5 minutes left in the first half. We'll visit with Lon Kruger at halftime. He has a book out. Let you know what that's all about.
I've got his book right here, and it's kind of fascinating because on page 69, he talks about the recipe for upsets. So he's following his book perfectly.
Darger for 3. And a rebound ripped down by Zane Johnson. And a foul is called on UNLV. Rene Rougeau is whistled.
Yeah. Can I read a passage here?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's actually on 70 that he says, upsets occur when the team favored to win loses focus while the underdog team stays focused on detail and builds its confidence with early success. Prophetic, huh?
So far, Johnson makes his first free throw of the season. He'll have another.
Lon was talking earlier today about the shocking news in Las Vegas earlier in the week when they got their biggest snowfall in 30 years.
It was incredible to see in the southern part of the city. People reported as much as 8 inches of snow. Wink Adams down the lane, kicks it out. Here's Belfield. In and out on the 3 attempt, and Hill another rebound. He's a rebounding machine for Arizona. Play along the baseline, and Hill gets in there battling for that offensive rebound. Blocked by Rougeau, but a foul is going to be whistled on it. Well, Hill has 6 rebounds. He's going for his 7th, and Rene Rougeau thought he had a block here.
And it's surprising because UNLV is not a good shot blocking team, but so far they've used really good position inside. And at the line, 42, Jamel Horn, an awfully good rebounding player, fantastic support guy. And just watching him, I can tell from his body language, he's an emotional player. When he's in his own building, he's probably 30 or 40% more productive at home than he is on the road.
Horn misses, and UNLV gets the rebound. Since UNLV led by 9, Arizona's been on a bit of a run of their own, 5-0. 4 minutes to go, first half. Darger from the baseline. Darger is nails when he gets from that range and in. Darger with 8 points. Wise puts a move on Wallace. Here's Horn. Outside Wise again. They double Hill.
You can tell that they're following the scouting report.
And Rougeau is going to get called for bumping down Kyle Fogg. Timeout on the floor. 3:26 to go. It's a 6-point UNLV lead. Joe Darger's been a big reason for that. 6-point lead for UNLV. For Arizona, trying to get back into this one in the first half. 3:26 to go. Tim McCormick, Tim Everett with you at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. How about Jordan Hill as he comes up with his 6th rebound? It's not just his 6th rebound, it's the 500th rebound of his career. You're a big guy, you're a 7-footer. You know how tough those rebounds are to come by.
And his numbers this year are awe-inspiring. If you look back over the last 25 years, he is the most productive big man in Arizona basketball. Channing Frye, Lauren Woods, Anthony Cook, Sean Rooks. Jordan Hill's numbers blow those guys away.
Jordan Hill.
But not today.
Not today. 6'10", 235. Went to school in North Carolina at the Patterson School. Leads the Pac-10 in rebounding. Pac-10 Player of the Week. Fogg can't connect there.
I really like what I see from Kyle Fogg. He lacks the star power, but when you look at his field goal percentage, he's 18 for 23 on the year. He only takes good shots, and he's a very active defender.
A little scrambling. Now Wink Adams rises for 3 and connects. That's what they've been waiting for here in Las Vegas, for Wink Adams to get in the scoring column, and he's got 3. 3 minutes to go, first half. Hill. Rebound to Belfield. Cross court Adams. And Adams travels. That's the second time he has slipped on the floor.
You need to get Wink some new shoes. This is a significant shot. He didn't need new shoes on this one. That's his first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 5. But you can live with his low field goal percentage because he gets his points in volume. He's going to get some threes. He's going to knock down free throws. So it's kind of like an Allen Iverson approach that you don't worry as much about the low field goal percentage with him.
Fogg with the basketball now, trying to drive down the lane, draws a crowd. Judkins. The lob to Hill. Here's Wise with 8 seconds to shoot. Quick dump inside for Hill. And the hook shot is good. Jordan Hill with 4 points.
And that's his first bucket of the game. And Russ Pennell, probably deep inside, feels pretty good that they're still in this thing when Nick Wise has not scored very much, and neither has Jordan Hill.
Darger took a shot early in the possession, and now the Arizona Wildcats in transition, and Wise with a great lay-in. Cuts the lead to 4. And you can see where Arizona's picking up the pressure in the backcourt. Adams way off the mark there. And that'll go back to Arizona. So 2 possessions for UNLV. They get the quick shot, don't make it, turn the ball back to Arizona.
Yeah, it looks to me like Wink Adams has a little bit of a hitch or a hesitation just before he releases it. I don't remember seeing that last year.
Crowd on their feet looking for some defense. Here's Judkins trying to step to a double team. Horn can't get the putback. Darger the rebound. Adams on the run. And Adams is redirected by Hill. The pace of this game has been frenetic. And Arizona slows it down a bit as we're under a minute to go until halftime. At the half, we'll get you caught up on what's happening around the Mountain West Conference. We'll take you to the Mountain Studios here on Versus, plus a conversation with UNLV head coach Lon Kruger.
With 44 seconds to go in the first half, it would be very smart for Arizona to get up a quick shot to force a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Big possession for the Wildcats. Wise with it. Trying to get away from Wink Adams and Joe Darger. Hill with a rebound, his 7th, and he gets the putback. So now Hill getting into the scoring with 6 points, and Arizona on a 6-0 run. 2-point lead for UNLV. They'll try to play for the final shot of the half. And Lon Kruger wants to call a timeout with 19 8/10 seconds to go. Well, Jordan Hill has woken up offensively.
Yeah, and it's going to be very difficult because of the huge size advantage that Jordan Hill has to keep him off the glass. High screen and roll. Darger cannot commit to boxing out Jordan Hill because it was help defense that he was responsible for. Now, let's talk a little bit about strategy here. Lon Kruger is a master of NBA sets. You enjoy the numbers of Jordan Hill so far today. I think he's going to have a big second half. What we've seen out of timeout situations from Arizona is that they come out in that 1-1-3 defense. Why? Lon Kruger spent years in the NBA. He has a deep playbook that Arizona's zone can help take away any set that the running Rebels bring.
Russ Pennell spent a little bit of time in the broadcast area of Arizona State. He was a color commentator on radio there for a bit.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
Here's that 1-1-3.
UNLV playing for the final shot. They spread the floor out right now. Wallace kicks it in the corner. Wink Adams. Got it! Just like you draw it up. That was a great possession for UNLV to end the half. 32-27 is the score at halftime at the Thomas & Mack Center. With Tim McCormick, I'm Tim Neverett. Tell you what, the show is just beginning. Don't go anywhere. Got a great second half on the way as college basketball on Versus continues from Las Vegas. They did a little jumping around at the Thomas & Mack Center in the first half. 32-27. The running Rebels of UNLV leading the Wildcats of Arizona with Tim McCormick. I'm Tim Neverett. What about the first half? For a game with this kind of score, it certainly had its share of running.
Yeah, it certainly did, and it was very unusual because Arizona dominated the boards. They got to the line and made more free throws, but I thought it was the defense and the three-point shooting in the first half by UNLV.
Only 1 out of 3 for Arizona in the three-point department. We look and see about the Arizona Wildcats. As Budinger tried to get into the act, he got one of them, but he has got to be a guy who needs to step up in the second half if Arizona wants to win this game.
Well, Wink Adams switched there. He beat him inside. Also, look at 5 defenders for UNLV in the paint. Chase Budinger was 4 out of 8 in the first half. Also, Jordan Hill scored late. They had a very strong defensive presence against him. Defensively, there's Rougeau with the block. The ball movement, Joe Darger knocked down. They were 7 out of 8. Also, off the bench, Kendall Marshall, big impact, 2 threes in only 9 minutes of action. And Wink Adams, the most important player on the UNLV team, knocking down a late one.
You see the numbers. Look at the free throws. 8 of 10 for Arizona, only 1 of 2 for UNLV. Points off turnovers at the bottom tip. That's very, very important. Also, the rebounding numbers in favor of Arizona, plus 10.
Well, Arizona missed 20 shots in the first half. They grabbed 13 offensive rebounds. That's unheard of.
Top scorers, Budinger with 11, Darger with 8. He has 2 3-pointers. We also need to mention that for Rene Rougeau, 5 blocks have been credited in the first half. That's a career high for him. He had 4, but he's still got a full game to go. Speaking of full, it's a full house in Las Vegas today. It's been a long time since they had crowds like this on a regular basis. You have to go back to the Jerry Tarkanian era. And early in the Rollie Massimino era, when they played Georgetown and Texas A&M in Massimino's first year, they had crowds like this. But They have been very excited for this one, and a great weekend, of course. Willie Tuitama and the Arizona football team taking on Max Hall and the BYU football team just down the road at Sam Boyd Stadium later in the Las Vegas Bowl. So for Arizona fans, they get a football basketball doubleheader today. 41 of the last 45 have belonged to the Running Rebels at home, and that's an impressive stat when you consider they dropped their last 2 at home.
Starting the second half of play, both Wildcats and Rebels will start their original starting five.
All right, let's talk a little bit of strategy. Arizona needs to go inside and keep force-feeding the ball to Jordan Hill. When he scores, he rebounds and blocks shots better. And for UNLV, I still feel like they need to play as fast as possible to hide their lack of post-game.
Well, the Cats with the basketball trying to work it into Buttinger. Short on the shot, gets his rebound, a foul on the way up. Rene Rougeau got him with a body. It'll be Darius Santee, 44, not Rene Rougeau, 24. They were both right there. And honestly, that foul could have gone against either one of them. But Santee will get nailed for it.
The last shooter that reminded me of Buttinger is Steve Kerr.
Really?
You know, a guy that when he catches in space, nobody around him, you just expect that he's going to knock it down. And when he steps to the free throw line, you know, that's a shock right there. But you see the release, man. It's just a beautiful thing.
Belfield on the rebound. And UNLV getting caught in the backcourt. Darger has Hill come out on him.
But a whole buffet of different defenses by Russ Pennell. Gotta love the buffets in Vegas.
There are plenty of them. There's Wink Adams. He's got another 3. That's 3 of them for the Running Rebels' leading scorer from Houston. Adams with 9.
Here's that motion offense last year. Kevin O'Neal, a lot of set plays, much different this year.
Bryce Mosumba the takeaway. Joe Darger, wide open 3. Mosumba battled for the rebound, taken down by Arizona. And now Hill. Whistle blows. And the foul is going to be on Bryce Mosumba. Second team foul this half, but the 3rd foul on Mosumba.
You know, I'm really confused at why Jordan Hill, why doesn't he just rise up and shoot? He drew the foul, but he had a wide open 10-foot jump shot. And, you know, this is a really nice story here. Jordan Hill, he's come so far at Arizona. His mother passed away when he was very young. His dad was a truck driver, did the best he could, but Jordan went to live with one of his middle school friends and became part of their family. He found basketball, didn't start playing until his junior year in high school. How far has he come?
Come pretty far at the free throw line. He's 4 for 4 from there. Had a preseason NIT record, 22 rebounds in 1 game against the Blazers of UAB. And he's got another rebound for Arizona. And ahead of the pack is Kyle Fogg.
Boy, and that's a big defensive mistake. On the shot, Oscar Belfield took a forced shot and then went to follow his rebound and lost his defensive responsibilities.
Adams for 3. Got it. He's got 4 of them. 38-32.
And all is forgiven for Oscar because he got the assist.
Wise kicks it off for Hill. Hill with 8 points and 8 rebounds. Buttinger. Strong to the basket. Remember, he opened the game with a one-handed jam.
Now, his best sport, if you can believe this, is volleyball. Can you imagine that guy at the net?
Reach right over. Wouldn't be fair, would it?
It would not.
Kind of like playing against you. Belfield, a bullet pass inside, and Mosumba is fouled by Hill. And Bryce Mosumba will go to the line to shoot 2. Good ball movement here.
And believe me, the delivery was perfect. Great shot fake. And the significance of this is that that is the second foul. If you get a third on Jordan Hill, he goes to the bench and your job gets a lot easier. Remember, he is the only shot blocking presence for this Wildcat team.
Musamba out of Finley Prep in Las Vegas. A lot of good high school players, high school level players moving on to the Division I level out of Finley Prep. It is named for Cliff Finley, a former Runnin' Rebel player who was a very prominent business person in Las Vegas. Had a run with the Portland Trailblazers early in his career before going into business.
Pro move.
Pretty good.
Little Kevin McHale.
And a steal. Here's Fogg again. Missed the dunk. And the held ball will go in favor of UNLV. And Pennell's going to talk to Fogg right now and tell him to lay it off the glass.
Hey, and let's remember this play right here. This game's going down to the wire. I have no doubts about that. That might be the one that you need to pull off a road win.
Adams, 5 of them. Somebody turned the on switch on for Wink Adams, and he is 5 of 9 from 3. Buttinger. He can also shoot from out there, but that doesn't go down.
Yeah, and Wink Adams is a binge scorer. Keep an eye on him, because when he gets hot, he takes off.
A season-high 5 3-pointers, and Bryce Musamba, a hard-earned basket. And the lead is back to 9, and the fans are on their feet at the Thomas and Mack Center. 15:58 remaining in the game. A 9-point lead for the Rebels. 15:31 remaining in Las Vegas. The Runnin' Rebels leading the Wildcats of Arizona 45-36. With Tim McCormick, I'm Tim Neverett. Good college basketball game here today. And Wink Adams has heated up as Adams has started to find the range from long distance. 5 3-pointers in the game. It ties a career high. It's the 4th time in his career that he's had 5 threes in a game.
Yeah, and he has carte blanche. He shoots with no fear. And hard to imagine that prior to the Santa Clara game, he had missed 22 straight 3-point attempts. That streak is well over now.
It's well over. He's 5 of 9 today. So his percentage will go up a click or 2. He's got the basketball now, trying to get around Buttinger. Willis waiting for some help. Willis draws a crowd in the middle, and Rougeau gives it off to Kendall Wallace. Wallace missed that one. He has 2 threes in the game already. We see Wallace's uncle Riley Wallace, the former coach at Hawaii at a lot of the UNLV games. Saw him here earlier today.
But Arizona looks really frustrated because UNLV is so athletic. They're switching all of their screens. Chase Buttinger can't find a shot because he usually relies on people switching.
Now Hill inside, the baby hook falls out. And Tiger gets the rebound. Trayvon Willis with Fogg on him. Now Darder swings it left for Wallace. And Wallace to the basket. Rougeau the rebound. And Rene Rougeau gets 2. 8 points for Rougeau, and the largest lead of the game extends to 11. First double-digit lead.
And why is this significant? UNLV does not have a signature non-conference victory.
Adams with a steal. 3 on 2. Wallace, 3. Darder the rebound. Nope, reached over Hill. Boy, Wise can really run the floor, and he picks up the foul. That's an offensive foul on Wise.
Now, you know, who's the best rebounder in the Pac-10? Ask Joe Darger what he thinks. He's got great position. What a manly effort inside by Jordan Hill.
Well, Jordan Hill is going to give his Pac-10 opponents fits underneath. He's going to put up some hefty numbers. 7-0 run for UNLV. Adams. 6. A new career high in threes for Wink Adams. And the running Rebels on a 12-2 run. Budinger with a basketball. The steal by Adams. 3-on-2 again. Trayvon Willis. Fouled before the shot, and the basket's going to count. Goaltending.
Wow, what a delivery. Wink Adams is beating Arizona with his scoring, and here's with his passing. The rule is, once it hits the backboard, once it's above the rim, you cannot touch it. That's where the goaltending is called. But you know what? It was going in anyway.
Fendi Onabun off the bench, a reserve player. With the goaltend and the three-point play completed by Trayvon Willis. Largest lead now, 53-36.
The more physical team is winning this game. Make no mistake, Arizona's talented, but they are very much finesse.
Darger guarding Hill way outside.
Boy, Chase wants the ball. He's got a big size mismatch. They ignored him.
Fogg with the miss, and Adams ball in his hands again. Wink Adams short on that one, but Rougeau gets another chance. Rene Rougeau battling. The held ball will go to the Arizona Wildcats. Rene Rougeau disappointed. He had 2 chances for a basket.
Well, as the #1 offensive rebounder in the Mountain West, he pulls a little Moses Malone action and pads his stats with a missed layup.
Wink Adams goes to the bench to get a breather, sits down with a career-high 6 3-pointers, 18 points. He needs 9 more to tie Larry Johnson for 13th all-time on the UNLV scoring list. Johnson did it in 2 years, however. But it's still a great accomplishment to get to 1,600 points in a career.
Hey, do you think that someday that Wink Adams will have his name up in the rafters with Armand Gilliam and Reggie Theus and LJ and all the rest?
There's a few guys up there. Glenn Gondrzik, Stacey Ogman, Greg Anthony, you mentioned the others, and Sidney Green. There's a good possibility. Trayvon Willis. And another rebound by Hill. That's his 10th, so he's got a double-double. His 7th double-double in 10 games. For his career, that's 14. Missed the basket.
You notice Arizona's one-on-one right now. Chase Budinger is frustrated. Jordan Hill forcing shots.
Willis forced to go high off the glass. Darius Santee is hammered by Hill. Hill said, "You're not going to get a shot up that time." 53-36. The Rebels of UNLV leading Arizona on Versus. 18,500 on hand to watch this one today, and you see the banners up in the rafters. All great names. The Hammer, Armand Gilliam, Ricky Sobers, the first round draft choice out of UNLV. Reggie Theus, Glenn Gondrzik, Stacey Ogman. You keep moving on. Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Sidney Green, all the greats. And so many others, too, that have put on that Rebel uniform. Nice to see that. And when you translate that, it turns into one of the winningest Division I programs, largely because of the record of Jerry Tarkanian when he arrived on the scene from Long Beach State way back when.
Those are the heavyweights right there. And you know, when you're trying to figure out how can Arizona that has NBA players on their roster be getting destroyed in this building, here's the number that will tell the entire story for you. UNLV has made 11 three-pointers. Arizona has 1. That is a 33-3 advantage beyond the arc. Story told. That's it.
There's Santee trying to tell a bit of a story at the line, and it's a 15-0 UNLV run. And a 19-point lead. Last year it came down to the final basket. Arizona would win it 52-49. They are 1-6 in Las Vegas in this series. Their one win coming last year. Budinger underneath, couldn't get the ball to roll over the rim, but he's going to go to the line to shoot. What a terrific player he is to watch.
He's become so much better off the dribble and moving without the ball. In that Texas A&M loss, they were up by 9 points when Nick Wise went out with foul trouble. Down the stretch, Chase Budinger actually played point guard.
Don't forget to tune into Sports Soup, hosted by comedian Matt Eisman. The week's best highlights, lowlights, and everything in between. And they're covering the coverage. Sports Soup, all new Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on Versus. Very funny show.
Your favorite?
Kids and I sit and watch the doubleheader. We watch the back-to-back episodes. Hoping to not see myself on there, because if you're on there, it means you goofed up that week.
You did something funny.
Well, Belfield with a basketball for UNLV. And here's Rutledge. Trayvon Willis. Still lots of time to shoot. Shot clock to 10. Gonna have to force one probably soon. And Willis trying to get to the basket, and he'll get to the line.
Wow, that worked out. You know, with Wink Adams, their playmaker on the bench, without the stability of Joe Darter on the court, Lon Kruger has to be thrilled that he took the shot clock all the way down and gets free throws. And staying at the line is Trayvon Willis. Trey transferred from Memphis. And if you're worried about what happens when Wink Adams graduates, Trey Willis can score. He had 2,800 points in high school.
That's scoring. That's big time. And in high school, I mean, you got to start early.
The games are only 32 minutes long.
Yeah. You got to start like in the 7th grade to get that many points. Wise finds a lane to the basket and scores. He is a devastating penetrator when it comes to the guard position. He really moves the basketball well. Willis trying to save it, lost it out of bounds. Back to Arizona. 10-10 to play in the ball game, and Wink Adams coming back in.
You know, you talked about the point guard and the guard matchup. Wink Adams comes in, and defensively on Nick Wise, UNLV's done such a good job. You know, Jordan Hill and Chase Budinger will get All-American recognition, but to me, Nick Wise is the most important player on their team, because you could get by if Chase went out or Jordan, but when Nick Wise is off the court, there is no ball handling and very little leadership.
Wise second in the Pac-10 in assist-to-turnover ratio. Arizona turns it back to UNLV. Trayvon Willis changing hands and scoring. Came down right-handed, shot lefty. 58-40, 18 points the advantage. Rougeau with a career-high 6 blocks. He had 5 in the first half. Previous high was 4.
That in itself is shocking, as many points as he scored. I would have thought he had a lot more than 4.
Budinger to the basket, good for 2. Chase Budinger with 18 points. He is the high scorer, along with Wink Adams in the game, each with 18. And Budinger trying to reach in on Willis. Arizona gets it back. Zane Johnson, the bounce pass to Wise, who puts in 2 more.
Nice run.
Arizona feeling a little bit of confidence here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah. Right now, Lon Kruger is saying, should I or shouldn't I call that timeout and get my guys? That might signal timeout right there.
Johnson to Horn for the hammer jam. Jamel Horn put it down hard. And Arizona's on a 6-0 run. And Lon Kruger wants a timeout to slow down the Cats. He doesn't look too happy. These two teams had a very close game almost a year ago to the day. Last year, it would be another big one for Jordan Hill, as Hill would end up with 16 points and 19 rebounds. Juwan McClellan had a three-pointer with 26 seconds to go to secure the win for Arizona. Kevin O'Neill liked what he saw in a 52-49 win, as they used defense and rebounding to come away with a close victory. A different story so far today, but down by 12. Can they still make it back?
They still got a lot of work. They still have to pitch a shutout the rest of the way with their defense. Let's take a look at the lackadaisical offense by UNLV. Beautiful delivery, and in transition, Jamel Horn can do some really good things. But I'm really liking the maturity, though, by Arizona. Can you imagine Lute Olson, Kevin O'Neill, and Russ Pennell, 3 coaches in 3 years? Next year will be 4.
That's tough for anybody who came in as a freshman. Rougeau off to Santee. They are whipping it around with intensity right now. Wink Adams. Another 3. 7 3-pointers for Wink Adams. 21 points. What a game he's having. Budinger trying to answer. Short on the 3. Wise. And Hill can't get the putback. Budinger will get credit. 20 points for Chase Budinger.
Yeah. Last time out, Lon Kruger, I bet he said this guy's pass it around a little bit and then get it to Wink.
Willis, 3. Back-to-back possessions out of the timeout with 3-pointers. 64-48. Rougeau takes it away. Into the corner it goes, and Willis, another. It is raining threes, or perhaps it's more appropriate to say snowing threes in Las Vegas after the storm they had this week. But the Rebels are storming the court to get Trayvon Willis and Wink Adams. 3 straight possessions, 3 3-pointers, and a 19-point lead.
This is the biggest deficit I have ever seen from the 3-point line. A 14-1 advantage for the UNLV running Rebels. And what an incredible timeout by Lon Kruger. Not only did he settle them down, they come out and they make 3 straight 3-pointers.
50% from behind the arc, 14 out of 28.
Wow.
And Wink Adams, 7 of 11 from 3. His best game as a collegiate.
Well, the other factor that makes it so shocking is that Arizona is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the entire nation. And so far in this game, 4 attempts, they've only made 1.
You look at Budinger, he came in 60% from 3. Wise, 47% from 3. Zane Johnson, 50% from 3. They have some very good 3-point shooters, but they've not been able to pull the trigger. The 3-point defense by UNLV, that perimeter pressure defense, has been another big part of the story. Running Rebels, 67. Arizona, 48. This is college basketball on Versus. 67-48. Happy holidays, everybody. They're happy here at the Wilson Bank Center. No doubt about it. The running Rebels are not only running, but shooting their way past the Cats. Future Hall of Famer Greg Maddux, who recently announced his retirement. He is a season ticket holder here. A guy who had so many great moments, and he's witnessing some great moments here from certain players. Rene Rougeau, a career-high 6 blocks. Wink Adams, a career-high 7 threes. 14 threes in the game for UNLV.
And if Greg Maddox looked at the stat sheet, he'd say, you know, I'm really impressed. 19 assists on 23 hoops. Only 8 turnovers for UNLV. Greg Maddox would really be impressed with that, wouldn't he?
He's pretty interested in the strikeout to walk ratio right now. Just convert that to the assist to turnover ratio, and he'll understand it.
Yeah, same.
Hill on the inside, and he walked. Jordan Hill turns it over for the Wildcats.
Yeah, if you would have told me that with 6:47 to go, that there would be such a huge deficit. We're looking at 19 points. I'd say the only way that would happen is if you had a 42-3 advantage from beyond the arc. 42-3.
Willis, the no-look dagger. UNLV can afford to use the shot clock now with 6.5 to go. Rene Rougeau knocks that one down. And the largest lead now at 21. Wise quickly looking to answer. Flying for the rebound, Trayvon Willis. Ahead of the pack, Wink Adams. He's got it. Wink Adams, 23 points.
Yeah, the only thing, there's just one word that I can use to describe this. Wow.
And a full house to see it. Hill kissing it off the glass. Good shot by Jordan Hill. 12 points to go along with 11 rebounds.
This is really good for the Mountain West Conference. And remember, down in Glendale later, you've got BYU taking on Arizona State. Another opportunity for a national big-time win.
BYU's team has done quite well in the non-conference portion of the season, led by Dave Rose. We'll see BYU a little later during the course of our college basketball schedule here on Versus. Utah, San Diego State, one we're looking forward to as well. Jim Boylan's Utah Utes doing a good job. Rene Rougeau, another basket. And Steve Fisher, your old coach at Michigan, coaching San Diego State. They got everybody back from a year ago.
And they cover the ball very well. #1 in the conference in defensive field goal percentage.
Horn in and out. Hill, the putback, he's fouled. It'll be a 3-point opportunity for Jordan Hill. The inside game has been a big factor, too, for UNLV.
Well, they don't have that big stud post player like Arizona, but they're so good on the offensive glass. Rene Rougeau goes every single time, and that's why not only do they get points in transition, those are the layup, they get some off the dribble, those are other post points, and they're able to hide the lack of back-to-the-basket scoring because they get to the offensive glass so well.
Kicked by Nick Wise. So that's out of bounds. And substitution, Garland Judkins will check back in for Arizona. Judkins, the freshman from Humble, Texas. Wink Adams picked up and doubled quickly. Now they back off. Rougeau against Buttinger. Blocked by Hill. Willis gets the rebound, and Belfield open look. What a defensive play by Hill. Good block. Now Horn finds a man on the corner, Zane Johnson, and he hits for 2.
Basket by Zane Johnson.
Zane Johnson, one of the key reserves, a very good long-range shooter. Had 17 points against Loyola Marymount earlier in the year. Garland Judkins, 12 points, his career high against Mississippi Valley State.
But it's going to be a huge adjustment. Lon Kruger exceptionally pleased with the effort by his team today.
So Wink Adams will go to the free throw line. Adams, pretty good free throw shooter. 70% this year. He's normally in the 80s. Makes that one. This Wednesday, the Contender on Versus continues. They come from the four corners of the world, the four corners of the ring, vying for a once-in-a-lifetime shot at glory. Whose corner are you in? An all-new episode of the Contender on Versus, Wednesday, 10 Eastern. And Adams knocks them both down. Kendall Wallace comes back in. Belfield will take a seat. Wink Adams with 25 points, needs 2 more to tie Larry Johnson on the all-time scoring list. 1 more to pass him for number 13 all-time. Talked about that before the game. We didn't know if we'd see that or not, but it's becoming closer to reality.
Bigger the game, bigger Wink Adams plays.
And Hill in the lane. And this is just short. And a foul is called. We'll take a timeout. 3:57 to go. 75-55 UNLV. Well, Wink Adams coming at you today. 25 points, 7 3-pointers, and a 20-point lead, 75-55. The senior from Houston with a career-type game. His career high in scoring, 33. Did that against the University of Wyoming last year.
Yeah, also, when you see Trey Willis step into the line, chance to make points number 16 and 17. The bench production has been just off the charts. Just excellent work. 29-4 advantage.
Willis, one of 3 Rebels in double figures. Rougeau with 12. Willis with 16 currently. 2 Arizona Wildcats in double figures. Buttinger with 20 and Hill with 15. Now the largest lead of the game at 22. The Wildcats certainly with their work cut out with 3:45 to go. Wise trying to step around Adams, gives to Horn, who scores. Jamel Horn from San Diego, 6'6" sophomore. Horn with 5 points. And UNLV wants a timeout. Lon Kruger, I don't know if he was happy with his offense or not. Wanted to try to set something up. He's talking about something with Rene Rougeau right now. Well, last week we saw a one-sided game with New Mexico beating Ole Miss at the pit. And here the Mountain West acquitting itself against the Pac-10 after doing it last week against the SEC. UNLV back home Tuesday to take on Southern Utah. Then they go and take on Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals. And then they open conference play against New Mexico on the 3rd of January here at the Thomas & Mack Center before hitting the road for a pair.
Well, with Samardo Samuels, Rick Pitino is certainly going to take a real close look at the tape here and why Arizona was not able to really exploit the huge size advantage, especially with Jordan Hill inside.
And we did that game last year right here on Versus, and Louisville beat UNLV here, and they did a very nice job in doing so too. Kendall Wallace gives it back to Darger. Coming down to the 3-minute mark. And Wallace off the mark on that one.
Now, if Arizona scores, they may want to start to employ a little bit more full court pressure. They need to turn over the Rebels.
The Mountain West had a terrific year in football, which is not over yet due to the bowl games beginning. Utah playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Here's Wink Adams, the lob for Rougeau. And the rebound of the Cats. And in basketball, they hope to have the same type of year in terms of the national attention that they got for football. So Buttinger, 22 points. And some wholesale substitutions waiting for Arizona at the next dead ball. Here's Adams kicking it back out to Wallace. Wallace will drive. He'll just fire up a wild shot. And Hill pulls down another rebound. That's the 13th board. Brendan Lavender in there wearing 14 for Arizona. Russ Pennell's getting a little deeper into the bench.
Good by Jordan Hill.
So Jordan Hill hits.
Foul call underneath.
17 points for Hill.
Now, when you look at the surprise lack of effort by Arizona for certain stretches, I'm not saying the whole game, but I really believe the key is the Gonzaga hangover. I think that Gonzaga is the best team in the West, and Arizona beat them by 5 in their last contest.
Hill makes that one. Tuesdays and Thursdays versus is stirring the soup with the new original series, Sports Soup, hosted by comedian Matt Eisman, featuring the week's best highlights, lowlights, and everything in between, covering the coverage with the hilarious show that's Sports Right. Sports Soup, Tuesdays and Thursdays, all new right here on Versus.
Wink Adams needs to be on the soup this week.
He needs to be on the soup. Trayvon Willis stirring it up a bit himself. Willis having himself a nice night. Whistle blows, so now stop play. Trayvon Willis, 19 points. And getting up off the bench for UNLV is Scott Hoffman, the junior from Hayes, Kansas. It's not often he gets to play, so he's going to get a great round of applause. Kendall Wallace will come out. Kyle Fogg to shoot free throws. 92% free throw shooter coming into the game today. And Fogg now 2 for 3 from the line. So Horn will come off the court, and Fendi Alabon will replace him. The senior, 6'6", another Houston Texan. Well, hard to win on the road in college basketball a couple of times in a row, isn't it?
It certainly is. And the Mountain West profile is really soaring after last week. New Mexico beating Ole Miss bad. This is a statement victory.
Wink Adams with the ball and just about a minute to go. We'll count it down. And most of these Arizona fans will be heading down the street to Sam Boyd Stadium to watch the football team play BYU in the Las Vegas Bowl. UNLV just 47 seconds away from their 10th victory of the season, and as you talked about during the telecast, Tim, a signature non-conference win.
And you need that because, look, I don't know if UNLV can rely on winning the conference tournament every year. They would like to continue their fine work and be able to enjoy the fact that the Wink Adams and Joe Darger want to go to 3 straight NCAAs. 7 3-pointers is the best he's ever done.
And he finishes 2 points shy of tying Larry Johnson. He'll do that Tuesday against Southern Utah in their next outing. Judkins with the ball, now to Fogg. Well, Arizona can't take care of the basketball in their last possession. Shot clock dead. And Trayvon Willis will try to dribble out as much of it as he can in the final 20 seconds. Well, a big victory for UNLV, a tough loss for Arizona. Wildcats will drop to 7-3. They have not won a true road game. They're 0-2 on the road this year. Lon Kruger and Russ Pennell shake hands. This one is over. And UNLV has knocked off the Arizona Wildcats 79-64 is the final. And how about the effort of that man, Wink Adams?
Well, it was the best game that I've seen him play. His shooting was great. And remember, he had missed 22 straight three-pointers prior to his previous game. The slump is over. He made a really strong statement. Remember, the co-preseason player of the year, Wink Adams, on the all-decade team. That's the kind of performance that we have come to expect.
Again, getting closer to the holidays, that means they're getting closer to conference play, and that's why this victory against a very good Arizona team is perhaps that much more important.
It certainly is, because at the end of the year, the selection committee is going to look at the profile, and they're going to say, wow, you know, Arizona's been really good, and UNLV beat them by 15 points.
Amazing. Hey, Reb likes it. 79-64 is the final score. Our next telecast will be January 10th as the Aztecs of San Diego State host the Utes of Utah. For our entire crew here in Las Vegas and my partner Tim McCormick, I'm Tim Neverett saying so long from Las Vegas. You've been watching college basketball on Versus.